Horizon Forbidden West is almost here. We're less than 24 hours away, just a few hours away from that midnight, early Friday morning release of a big AAA game. This is what console gaming in each generation is all about, that anticipation and the excitement for those games that push the envelope from those first-party studios, whether or not they're Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo. This is what most people move from one generation to the next for. I find it interesting that cross-gen titles are the titles that are pushing the envelope still, and we haven't seen much from Microsoft or Sony exclusively on their new hardware. There isn't any game built from the ground up on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, but I think Sony has a leg up when it comes to cross-gen titles, especially when you look at their first party and the talent. And when you think about those big releases and you think about the spectacle of them, I started to think about the strategies, Sony's strategy and Microsoft's strategy. Yes, they're going for services, but I think the idea of everything in a service day and date, you lose a bit of that big grandeur and that pomp and circumstance. I mean, everywhere you look, there's Horizon Forbidden West advertisements. People are talking about it. The build-up, the hype, the excitement on social media. It's this slow burn before these really big AAA titles release that I think generate all of that excitement and hype. And I feel like when it comes to subscription services and everything dropping in there day and date, you lose that. You don't see that level of advertising. You don't have that build-up. It's almost like, well, it's a game, it's just dropping in here with everything else, and then all of a sudden it just comes and fizzles out, and there it is. I think you lose a lot when you go day and date with everything and anything in a subscription service. And I think that the release of Horizon Forbidden West is proving that. When you look around and you see, all of the excitement, you see the big spectacle, you see, Aloy on the side of buses or, big buildings carrying Horizon Forbidden West, that really big feel is lost and has been lost with these subscription services. When you look at something, say, like Game Pass and, games that traditionally would be AAA like Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon, they just sort of, yes, they're coming day and date. Okay, it's the date, there they are, and that's it. There's no build up. There's less of that feeling of excitement, and maybe it's just me, but I haven't felt that, and I'm starting to feel it again, especially with this title. It feels like, circa PS2 days when big games were coming out, there was build-up, there was hype, there was excitement, and I really started to think about the idea of, a lot of people seem to think that there are things gained by having a subscription service, paying one monthly fee, but like everything else, there has to be some things lost as well. Nothing is 100% great all of the time or any time. And I think when it comes to these big AAA releases, if you're going to spend $120 million on these games, then I don't think dropping them day and date in a subscription service for one flat fee makes a lot of sense, unless, of course, you have, say, 500 million subscribers to offset the cost of that. I do think you lose that big pomp and circumstance, and I like that. I like the anticipation. I like the buildup. I like the coverage, the slow burn. First you get a screenshot, then you get an article, then you get some gameplay, then you get more gameplay, then you learn about the environments, the characters, the gameplay, and then finally the big release. I think that is something that Sony's done very well, and I think that strategy is going to be very successful for Sony going forward. They do not have to do what Microsoft is doing, and Microsoft doesn't have to do what Sony is doing. They tried, it didn't work for them. What they're doing now, hopefully, seemingly is working for them, but I do think when it comes to subscription services, you lose quite a bit in terms of that big overall excitement when it comes to these big titles. Let me know what you think down there in the comment section below. I think I'm onto something with this. I think that these big titles, they deserve that slow burn, that big marketing push, that excitement, and that build up, and then that final release. I think it helps go a long way into not only driving these games and these characters into the consciousness of gamers, but also helps them become these really huge franchises, these pieces of art that gamers move from one console to the next for. You buy Aloy's Adventure on the PS4 or the PS5, and you want the PlayStation 6 for the continuation of that, and you do that for God of War, you do that for Spider-Man, you used to do that for Halo, and I am not trying to say that you shouldn't be excited about subscription services, but I do think that if you're going to say that everything is gained when it comes to a subscription service, that's very disingenuous, because nothing is 100%. If things are gained, there has to be some things lost. And I think that excitement and that buildup are the things that have been lost. Let me know again what you think in the comments section below, and I'll see you all in the next video. If you like this video, think about hitting that like button and maybe even subscribing to the channel.